Robinson Show, we are back with Kris Rustic.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are you?
All right,
Kris
man.
Rustic from the Obscure Anomalies podcast.
That I am, the one and the only.
The original.
The most obscure, I guess.
Yeah, I did. I checked your show out when I was doing show prep, and I really dig it, dude.
Oh, thanks, man.
What made you start the show?
My wife got tired of me researching things and telling her all the time. So I basically was like, what better way to find people who actually care than to start a podcast?
That's amazing.
So do you not share with her anymore then?
You're like, I'm not telling her. I'm
I'm like, if she wants to listen, she can find the podcast and leave a 5-star review.
You already said all of it. Why do you got to repeat it?
Exactly.
Oh my god! But I love the topics you cover from Soylent Green steaks to the most haunted forest in Transylvania. Where do you find these topics?
In all honesty, a lot of them I found while basically growing up watching Ghost Hunters and, Destination Truth. But a lot of the, like the Soylent Green Steaks thing was more recent news.
Yes.
Because they just produced the first human cell-grown steak in a lab. So I was like, oh, yeah, you know what? I got to tell the world about that.
Because I know there's the plant-based stuff, but now this is like next level. This is, and where do they get
the opposite?
Where do they get the cells? Do they just pick it off the toe, or where do they get a couple flakes?
So I was reading about it, and what they do is they were taking.
Hold on, I gotta cut you off here. Wait,
Slim.
Chris, I gotta cut you off. This is what they do. They have a bunch of guys that are dressed like ninjas, and they come with like a dumpster truck, and Charlton Heston is around somewhere, and they load all the people into these trucks, and they turn them into food.
It would make a great movie. It sounds like it really would.
Right? Charlton Heston is just punching people. He just,
It's people. It's people.
All right, go ahead. You can continue with the truth.
So what they would do is they get the human cell from the inside of like the swab of your cheek.
That's what I thought.
And then using donated blood, the blood that's going to expire that they can no longer use, they're using that to help kickstart the process. And voila, I think it was 4 weeks later, maybe 4 months, you had a human steak.
Wow.
Is it good?
I was gonna say,
I don't know.
Would you be brave enough to try it?
I think people would eat it.
I think homeless people. might.
Technically, it's not cannibalism.
Right,
so.
that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's grown like in a lab, like you're not really eating something that was a human soul at some point, right?
No, there's no soul attached. That's soulless. That's soulless.
It's just meat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what? I bet you I taste pretty good. I give it a shot. Try anything once.
Yeah. Oh man, that is some wild shit.
Yeah, it really is, and I'm kind of shocked that it's only this late that this is happening.
Right,
I'm shocked this isn't something sooner.
I feel like they've been trying this.
Oh, I'm sure.
People have been trying this at least 40 years.
Probably
at least 40 years.
Since we discovered cloning technology in the early 90s.
Yeah, since the mouse with the ear.
Yeah.
That's
that's the only good reason to clone anybody is you need food.
Yeah. What else are you gonna do with a clone?
Yeah.
Oh goddamn! I love the name of it too, Chris. It was like the Ouroboros steak.
Oh, is that what it's called? The
Ouroboros.
It's about the snake, the self-eating snake that you see. That symbol.
The snake.
What better name
consuming its own tail.
What better name could they pick for it?
I prefer the Soylent Green steak.
You prefer Soylent?
Yes.
Well, I think the issue is, doesn't that dude have that meal plan shake?
Yeah, Soylent. Yeah. Well, it's just called Soylent. We sell it in the retailer that I work for.
That's it. I feel like all the millennials, they don't know the real Soylent.
Yeah.
They don't know the real Soylent.
No.
They know Bumblebee.
I think that guy that makes those silent shakes though is like murdering people.
It would not shock me at all.
No, in his basement.
Probably life's so expensive.
Like, it's not easy to find willing victims.
No. But if enough time has passed where they don't remember.
You must be onto something.
Yeah.
That stuff stuck around forever.
Mm-hmm.
Kris, do you have something special planned for Christmas?
Oh, man. You know, this might actually be the first year I don't. I'm trying to find some good Christmas legends to come up, to research for it. But
that's what I was wondering.
Planned for even like life in general.
I don't know anything
like,
besides
really knocked everything down.
Yeah. There's COVID, but I don't know anything besides Krampus for Christmas.
I'm trying to run through things.
There's quite a few different things. There was Black Peter, but he's now getting a new name because, obviously
Peter?
that's not really culturally acceptable.
I like Black Peter.
Who's Black Peter? Or Bleeder?
Bleeder.
But yeah, I mean, there are quite a few things, and part of me wants to keep it secret because I kind of want to use them and not spoil them.
Yeah.
But Krampus is the big one, and I don't know why all of a sudden within the last few years he really picked up popularity.
He did. Yeah. He took off. He's the top of the list.
It's just because he's got chains. Everybody loves a good chain.
Chains and a wicker basket.
That's it.
You sure it has nothing to do with the whacking and wailing on of children? I feel like that's something people want to do too.
And that's the thing.
So why not have a mythical creature do it?
We live vicariously through that.
A German mythical creature.
Well, isn't that what all Krampusnacht is about?
Oh man, there's no better fear to put in a child than Krampus. I feel like you.
I mean, I feel like there'd be more behaved children if, like, instead of just coal as punishment, there was a good whipping. Kidnapping, whatever,
Yeah.
That's what Krampus did, and no one questioned it.
No, it's okay because he's Krampus.
He was just doing the right stuff.
Yeah. He was doing what he was made to do.
He was keeping the people in check.
Could you even imagine bringing Krampus to court over child abduction?
I feel like he would just show you one, and you'd be like, okay, I understand now.
Right. I get it.
Case dismissed.
It's the worst of the worst. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
We'll just strike that one.
I mean, you're a half-goat man with chains and a sack, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
We're gonna close the book on this one. I saw too, Kris.
I just walk in and walk out.
What are phantom vehicles? I saw you did an episode on phantom vehicles. Is that like Carrie?
Carrie?
Oh, so
Christine.
So what? Yes. The haunted vehicles, right?
Yeah.
No, I actually didn't do Christine. There are a few legendary haunted cars.
Dragula.
Known to kill its riders. But the one I thought was really cool because it had to do with like the KGB when they used to come and take people. It was the Phantom car. And because all they would see was this strange vehicle that only basically the government drove, would take people in the middle of the night, never to be seen again. Wow. And so over time, that itself became a haunted car legend.
Wow.
And eventually it became a specter instead of, like a governmental person taking you.
Oh, okay.
Count Dracula.
I don't know, because Rob mentioned Christine. I'm thinking of that. What was that other one that Stephen King did? The Maximum Overdrive. Was that what it was called? With that.
That might be my favorite Stephen King movie ever, and I don't care what anyone says about that.
What about that one, Kim Kardashian? That was a rough one.
Yeah.
No,
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh my god.
So being in all the stuff you're into, are you upset with the conclusion of Supernatural?
I'm going to be completely honest with you. I've not had time to watch the last season and a half.
Oh, okay.
I'm very hush about it, and I've been keeping strong by watching The Mandalorian, but I need to get on that, and that's next on my list.
I haven't gone
I just know.
to any of those. I
No,
feel like
and-
I still need to watch those, but I just
I
haven't
watched
gotten
I
around
watched
to
the
it.
first 5 seasons of Supernatural, and then I watched like the penultimate episode just because. So
Well, I feel like when you have a podcast that requires research, you end up losing a lot of your free time.
right.
Yes.
I did not think it was going to be that much work in the beginning.
Dude, that's why I feel like your show is too much research. Like, I do guest
know.
prep about, for the guests I have on, but I feel like your show is a whole nother level of prep.
I think it's my FOMO, fear of missing out of anything I actually want to say and then being called out on it.
Well, there's got to be some things that you find too that are just like very short. Like you only find like a sentence on it, and you're like, "What the fuck? There's got to be more to this."
Right?
Well, that's exactly why this last episode I released today, I included 2. I included like 2 cases that were very similar to each other. The space penguins of Tuscumbia and the Canula humanoid over in Finland. They were both green, both about 3 feet tall, and had like a very scuba diving suit looking thing. So I threw them together. Got to make it last.
Yeah.
But I also had a short-lived segment, which will be coming back soon, called Anomalies. And what it was the stuff that was basically only about 5 minutes worth of information went into those.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the monoliths that are randomly appearing and disappearing?
Yes, we looked at that earlier. We were a little freaked out.
I've only just started looking into that, and I honestly have no clue. On the outskirts, my mind just wants to scream some world hoax to bring a weird end to 2020.
Yes, that's what I was like. I was like, let me
But, I mean,
text my cousin in
how
Bulgaria.
awesome would it be with like this buildup of a whole terrifying end to 2020, and then it just turns out to be a hoax?
I think it's Trump. Trump.
Oh yeah,
I think it's the
get our
monolith.
votes back. He's like, yeah.
I was gonna say, I think it's the monoliths that stopped him from being elected.
Oh yes, yes. That's the other theory. That's some theory.
It was like magnets for the votes by mail.
Right.
It
exactly.
sucked. It sucked all the Trump votes
And
and
Trump
threw them
on
to
it.
the other monolith.
Yeah.
And now they're Biden votes.
I feel like he's gonna repeat that. He's like, "See, these guys said that on their podcast, and it's truth."
Well,
It's
we're behind
court.
it, so when it shows up on Alex Jones next week, we know that we started it.
At least we've done something with our lives.
I mean, at least we don't.
Something good came out of my podcast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, it's also there was like a recent zombie apocalypse apparently, where all these zombies just rose and
Yes!
voted for Biden. And
I
then
feel like
disappeared
that's
again.
something you should go touch on, Chris. All the zombies that applied for voting privileges.
You know what? I'm going to throw it out there. Once we're dead, we still matter. So I'm all for zombie votes.
Dead lives matter. Dead votes matter.
I'm saying that even Satan was like, "We got to get this Trump guy out.
Yeah.
Bring the dead."
I'm bringing back a bunch of these fuckers to vote.
He set them down to send, little things throughout the year. He just took the whole list and ran with it.
Oh, goddamn. Chris, I love, too, in your show, I love you mispronouncing words or butchering some of the words.
I butcher them horribly. And I don't care how many times I listen to how they sound. When I'm recording it, I still stumble across them. Every time.
I do. I have that, too. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, this is how I pronounce this name or this word. And still, when we're on live, I still do it wrong.
I'm like, I'm so sorry, but it's going to happen. Like, I have an episode that has a bunch of Spanish words coming up, and I'm actually fairly good at Spanish. I just cannot roll my R's. For the life of me, never got that down.
I love one of your iTunes reviews is like, I'll give him, it's a 4-star review, and it's like, I'll give a 5th star when he can pronounce the words properly.
Somebody's angry about you mispronouncing their conspiracy
About
theory.
you rolling the R.
I'm like, oh, so I'm purposely reading that review in my next episode anyways because I'm going to horribly mispronounce a bunch of Spanish words because I can't roll an R. So I thought it'd be funny to throw that one in there in the beginning.
That's great. Yeah, I looked last night. I was like, oh my God, this guy is.
It's all right. That's my like worst review. I'm good so far.
Yeah.
At least it's like decent critique. It's not just like here's 4 stars just because.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Or here's 1 star just because I'm pissed off at something he said. Like we get those.
Some other podcast in the paranormal world said this, and you have a different outlook. Here's 1 star.
Have you ever had beef with another show, Kris?
I have not yet. Thankfully not. I've made a lot of good friends. The world's been pretty nice to me so far.
That's good. It doesn't last. The world could turn at any point, Kris.
I have to say, the only 2 worlds I've ever been in that have all been pretty positive has been podcasting and beer.
What's your beer of choice?
Oh, it really depends on the time of year, and right now it's a good stout. I've actually been really fond of this 1-star stout from a local brewery. It's a Belgian white ale, but it drinks like a stout, and it's calling 2020 basically 1 star.
Cool.
And it is delicious.
That's interesting. Oh, you said it was a Belgian white, but it's a stout.
Yeah, it's like a white stout.
Huh.
So it pours like really clear, but it has all that like heavy it's actually lighter, but it still feels on that heavier cocoa-y side like you get with the stout.
Cool.
And it's just smooth and all around delicious, and I can probably drink way more than I should at 11%.
I recently got into the real deep into the cocktail world, and that's just as like happy as the beer world. The cocktail community is amazing.
I know that's one world I haven't gotten too much into, even though I do love a good, mixed drink and all that. But I knew a lot of bartenders growing up, and even now. But some more beer for me.
Yeah, I do. I was really big into the craft beer, and I still go back and forth. But just this past year has just been like cocktails for me.
That made me think of it. Yeah, where even earlier tonight, Slim's like, I haven't just drank beer all night.
Yeah, so I actually I got a 6-pack of Celebration Ale from Sierra Nevada.
Nevada, yes.
Celebration Ale is what I'm drinking tonight instead of my usual cocktail.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with a cocktail. My recording drink of choice is scotch, so.
Okay.
Every time I record, I usually have a nice little glass right there.
Single malt, or it doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. It's usually what I have at the time, but I've been it's Glenlivet. I think it's like a 17-year, and it's a really nice like smoky scotch.
Yep. Glenlivet is good.
But yeah, I've actually learned my first episode, I was so freaking drunk, I don't even remember how it came out, and I refuse to take it down, even though it's embarrassing to me.
Good! I love that. I have so many shows where I'm like, oh my God, I don't remember after this opening sentence.
No, I'm like, you know what, if they can't handle me at my worst, then, they
don't deserve me at my best. I love that.
Plus, I think it's interesting when you see shows grow from like their first episode all the way up, and never giving up.
Yes. That's cool. I was going to ask too, Kris, have you ever done anything on Jersey or like the Jersey Devil? Because that's
all Jersey has.
All Jersey has.
Definitely
Jersey Devil.
One of my all-time favorite legends. Always has been.
Yeah.
Since I was young. But, like, the stuff like that, as much as I want to touch upon them, everyone else does.
Yeah.
And I know eventually I'm going to, but those big cases like that, it's going to take a lot of work and time. So I'm thinking of, within the next couple seasons starting those, because I've been slowly researching them and building them up. There's just so much on it to, like, really have in a 2-week turnover.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say, too, the weird New Jersey.
That's what I was just gonna bring up.
Type
And
of thing,
I was
like-
actually curious if that's state to state, because like weird New Jersey, there's some really obscure and like interesting things in there.
and a
like
lot
I wonder,
in a stupidly
There-
little
yeah, I
state.
wonder
There
if, like,
was
every
one I
state-
did touch upon in my haunted tree episode.
yeah, Jersey has a
about
couple
a,
haunted trees.
Like a, why can't I think of
Or
what
a
it's called
haunted
off the
tree
top of my head
state.
now?
We got 3.
But
We have
basically,
to- we
people would
have
go up to it, and you're supposed to be able to hear like screams in there. If you
Yeah,
put your head up into it, and like snow doesn't touch the ground around it. It's like the devil's tree.
yeah. There, I don't
There's
know
a
if
lot
it's
of
the same
devil's
one.
things.
There's one.
There's the devil's water tower.
Yeah.
There's the devil's curb. There's a lot of devil's things.
Oh man,
Oh.
you guys get the boring stuff. At least ours grows hops for beer. We have a devil's hop yard in Connecticut.
You have haunted hops.
The devil's hops.
Yeah, what is it? There's a tree in Jersey that like legend is if you try to like cut it down, you die.
Yeah, I think that's like the same tree. There's like a ton of offshoots on it.
One's in Tom's River. It's just like a tree that's shaped like an L.
If you pick a pine needle, you're going to have an inverted toenail. There's a lot of devils.
a lot of haunted trees
A
in
lot of
Jersey.
haunted trees.
Run over the devil's curb, you're gonna get a devil's flat tire.
Get a devil's hemorrhoid.
flat tire.
Step on the devil's crack, break your mother's back. You know, all the devil legends.
Get a devil's blackhead. They're no good. None of them are good. A lot of devils in Jersey.
Just throw the devil in it. Makes it scary.
Never fall into the
dandelion.
devil's pond. Is
No.
don't want to go swimming in there.
The devil's puddle. You don't want to go near that
The
devil's,
devil's puddle. The devil's puddle never dries up.
The
It's
devil's
always
puddle
there.
drowns.
Yeah.
The
And
devil-
that thing, no matter how hot it is, it never goes away. Motherfucking devil's puddle.
oh my
Only in
God.
Jersey.
Only in Jersey, Chris.
Makes me glad to be, in Connecticut. I don't have to worry about no devil puddles.
No, it's got a little oil on the top. You can see it, like, it's a little rainbowy. It looks shiny.
What state has all the angels?
Right? I feel like California, Los Angeles.
Yeah. Where are the angel trees and the angel puddles?
Yeah. Angel curbs, angel water towers.
They left a while ago, man. We scared them
We're
away.
just like, fuck this shit.
Fuck
Jersey's.
this shit, I'm out.
Oh, goddamn. Chris, thank you so much for talking to us, man. It's been a blast. It's been a ton of
Been
laughs.
a devil of a time.
Yeah, it's been a good old devil of a time.
It really has, guys. It really has.
Where can everybody find you and your show?
It can be found wherever podcasts are found. Just look up Obscure Anomalies. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I'm on all of them. More active on Twitter.
Cool, man. Thank you so much, Chris. And when this show goes up, I'll send you all the links.
All right. Thank you so much.
Have a good night, Chris.
Have a good
You too.
devil's night, Chris.
It was a devil good time talking to you.
It definitely was.
Yes.